Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I just wanted to sit down and take some time today to be really real with you guys. I know it's been a while since I posted my first video, so I think it's probably been about 2 months, and I haven't posted any other videos since then. That definitely was not my intention of how things were going to happen. I fully intended to film and have a bunch of videos uploaded by now for you guys to view. But life kind of gets in the way sometimes. Life happens. And that's definitely the case here. I feel like that's true for anyone. You just kind of get caught up in the things of life, but I feel like that's even more true when you're in the midst of grief. Yeah, I mean, I have an outline of a video that I plan to film. I worked on the outline weeks ago, and I just haven't sat down and filmed, and it's honestly really hard for me to find, the motivation and the focus and the desire to sit down and plan out these videos and to find the time to film them. And it's not because I don't want to. I want to, and I keep going through my head. I'm like, yes, I definitely need to work on YouTube stuff today, and then that just never happens. Grief is really an all-consuming thing. It affects all facets of your life, so I just feel like my focus and motivation is not where it needs to be. It's hard to find joy in doing things, and a lot of things that take a lot of thought and effort just don't seem desirable to me these days, and that's entirely grief related. My sleep hasn't been great, so that doesn't help either. By the time I finish work at the end of the day, I just want to lay around on my phone or use the computer or read. I just don't have the energy to put things into words or work on stuff that I intend to do. And it's honestly really, really frustrating for me to be in that kind of state of mind, because I've always been that person that's a go-getter. I'm always wanting to strive to do the best I can, and it's really hard for me to be in a place where my motivation and focus is just not up to par. So a lot of my inability to work on YouTube stuff does come from that grief-related stuff, but I feel like it's a little bit more than that too. I feel like there's a lot of fear that's holding me back from being able to work on YouTube stuff. I think it's a fear of what it will bring up emotionally, the fear of confronting those things, the fear of being really honest and open about some really hard truths about my grief and my experience with it. Kind of a fear of whatever I plan to share or what I say or think on these videos will be perceived in a way that people will judge me, or I'm afraid what people will think of me for saying or doing certain things and for sharing those really vulnerable parts of me. And I still fully intend, I totally still want to do this channel. That's not what I'm saying here. I still want to carry through with this project, because I find that my story should matter. It does matter to me, and I want to share it with everybody, because I do want to build a community of people that can relate, and I want to help those who feel the same way that I do to feel less alone, and to know that they're not alone in their experience, and that everything they're experiencing is totally normal, and that there's others that out there who have felt the same way. I want to share my story of how what my life looked like before grief and what it looked like after grief, and I think those are all things I still want to do. So I still intend to carry on with the project, carry on with making these videos. It's just where I'm at right now is there's no timeline of when I'm gonna be able to post videos, and when I'm I kind of have to ride the waves of motivation. If I have motivation to sit down and create a video, then I'll do it. If I have motivation to do an outline, I have to grasp that, and just I feel like maybe I'm thinking about it too much, with planning out the videos and making it perfect. I'm a perfectionist, so I just want things to be the way that I need them to be in my mind, like the way that I envision them, like the natural progression of things from like what my life was before grief, and then the moment that like things changed, and then everything that happened after my loss. And like I think maybe I'm getting stuck in like the analysis part of it, and just like putting too much pressure on myself to perform and be what people like. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Like I feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself to have the video come out perfectly, because grief is imperfect. Grief is unpredictable. And I feel like my videos should reflect that, but I don't want to just get in front of the camera and like not voice everything that I need to voice. Like I kind of have to have a plan of what I'm going to say. Maybe it doesn't need to be written out as like in depth as I'm trying to do now with the first outline that I wrote. But I mean, like I do want to have like a point where I'm planning a video, gathering my thoughts, and then kind of taking it from there, because I don't want to just sit down and just like try to say everything from memory, because I know like I'm not going to remember everything. There's going to be something that I realize that I didn't say, and then it's going to feel like too late to say that, or I'm going to get frustrated and not post the video because it's not what it doesn't like reflect what like the plan of what I had written. But I feel like I'm also getting severe like imposter syndrome. Like I do follow a bunch of content creators that do create like a grief related content, and like their work is kind of what inspired me to be like, okay, maybe like there's some worth in me sharing my journey. But like I see them speaking so like beautifully and clearly with like how they're feeling, and posting consistently, and just like having this huge following of people that like really hang on to their every word and like find value in what they're saying. And like I want to be that, but I'm afraid that I'm not going to be that. Like I'm afraid that I'm going to let people down, that what I'm saying is not going to be important to them. I'm afraid I'm not going to be enough for someone out there, and they're not going to find value in what I have to say. And like I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint myself and just get frustrated if like I can't, like if I have this vision of what this is going to be and like it doesn't end up that way. So there's a lot of fear related things like that are holding me back from being able to work towards this, and like that's just something I'm trying to work through. Like I know that shouldn't hold me back from being able to be open and honest about these things, because there is value in doing that. Like it's really cathartic to kind of talk about these things sometimes and be really open and verbally say these things. I'm just afraid. So I need to get there eventually though, because I do want to kick off this channel and start posting things. Like the second video was intended to be what my life was before I met the person who I lost, and I think it's not a super triggering video for me to film, but I know that of the 3 that I have to do before I start getting into like the loss related things, like I have to do my story, I have to do his story, and then our story. Like his story is gonna be, that's the thing that's really that's gonna be the hard one, to confront all the things surrounding his death. And maybe I'm just scared to get to that point and have to talk about those things and face those things, because it's been a while since I try not to think about those things, but I need to process them and get them out there and talk about my experiences. But yeah, but I guess I just, like, I owed it to myself to sit down and like really verbalize these things to you guys, and I wanted to be really authentic and open about how I'm feeling, because like I don't want to let my viewers down, and more importantly I don't want to let myself down. So like to be honest about this thing is really hard. To be honest that I'm struggling is really hard, but like I hope that even just posting this really honest update, that people who have tried to do something meaningful and want to do something meaningful but something's holding them back, I hope they feel and know that they're not alone, that there's a lot of people out there that feel that same way or are trying to do the same thing. And I hope that people can just kind of meet me where I'm at right now and give me as much grace and time and space as possible to be able to post and upload on my own timeline without any sort of expectation put upon me or anything like that for following like a consistent schedule, because honestly, grief's not consistent. It's all over the place. So, and this will just reflect that. So, yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that my next video comes sooner rather than later. I appreciate your guys' time.